Good morning and welcome back to Spurs Latest. I am your host, Trip Graham. So happy to have you here today. Got so much to talk about going on the NBA and with our Spurs. Spurs won last night against the Clippers, really overpowering them. Clippers had a surge at the beginning of the game and the late of the game, but it wasn't enough for our Spurs as we powered to 50 wins. We are now at 50 wins. Amazing record on the season. This is just, shades of our playoff runs with Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan. We're back at that 50 wins. We are that good. It is amazing to be back at this greatness that we know that we once were. In the early 2000s, and it is because of our golden boy Victor Wembanyama and Stefan Castle led the way last night with 23 points. The Clippers did try to make a late game run, but it was unsuccessful. We are just a powerhouse again. Like what I'm saying, if Wemby's not stepping up and scoring, it's Castle. If it's not Castle, it's Vassell. If it's not Vassell, it's Fox. It's just a constant onslaught of next man up mentality. And that's what I'm really loving about this team. The most successful teams in the league of the last few seasons and championship winners are such that next man up mentality. I think right back to the Boston Celtics of last year winning the championship. Jason Tatum 2 years ago winning the championship. Obviously, not Thunder. Thunder last year. We'll talk about them, but yeah, the Celtics just have that next man up mentality. Tatum not scoring, then Brown becomes the final MVP 2 seasons ago or last season. Even if Shea's not having a great game, Chet stands up, or Jalen Williams or J Dub. It's just you need to have that in a roster to win a championship, and that's what I'm seeing in our Spurs this year. Obviously, definitely just such a great mentality of how we are playing, and it's really conducive to winning basketball. Absolutely. Really, really exciting. And yeah, I'm just very excited about this future. I can't wait for NBA playoffs. I'm most excited for NBA playoffs in a long time. This is the most exciting. Obviously, our Spurs, not just our Spurs. We have so many good teams around the league that I can't wait to see the competition. So, let's get into it. Some other things that I want to talk about today is definitely March Madness. March Madness is right here, and let's talk about some of the best players we'll see in the tournament. As we go into the tournament, March Madness starts today. We have the 11 seeds playing against each other tonight. So really excited to see that. And we got some of the best players in basketball playing on the court this weekend. So not just this weekend. I think the main games start on Wednesday and Thursday. Second round Thursday and Friday. And then I think they have maybe the break. All right. So number one best player in all of college basketball, I believe, and the best player in the tournament. I don't know if we'll go number one. I believe it's Cameron Boozer. Got to watch Cameron Boozer's game the other night. He's just an all-around All-American for the Duke, unbelievable. He's averaged a double-double this season. It's John Shire's best team. I think this Duke team is the best version of themselves in a long time. Obviously, they had Cooper Flag and Colin Knipa last year and Mao Watch, but I think this team is just so much more well-rounded, and I think that they are the shoe-in to win the championship this year. If I was betting this year on this tournament, I would be betting on Duke. Cameron Boozer is obviously the son of Carlos Boozer, just an unbelievable player as well, playing with Derrick Rose in his time. So it's really cool seeing his son doing all this. Next is AJ Abasanya. He's definitely, I believe, the second best. Obviously in the tournament. BYU has definitely struggled. They had one of their star players go down with an ACL surgery earlier this season. But Abasanya is definitely a top 3 pick in the NBA draft, and he's really lived up to the hype. He's averaging over 25 points this season on 52% shooting. He's an absolute special player that I'm really excited to see progress in the NBA. Really, really excited about him. Other players I'm really excited to see is Darren Peterson. Peterson has been injured for a few different reasons this season. He's also had obviously the famous of calling his number, excuse me, calling himself out of games, which was I will never let fly in the NBA, and I know Mitch Johnson would not let fly in the NBA of calling your own number out to get taken out of the game. But yeah, he has been shuffled in and out of that lineup all season long. So let's see if he can stay healthy and stay motivated for the NCAA tournament. With players like that, it might just even be motivation as much as, readiness of their body. It's just mental toughness. So a lot of teams are questioning Darren Peterson's mental toughness as he goes into the NBA. Let's see if it translates. Obviously, this could be a college thing. Hopefully, it doesn't translate to the NBA, but it's not a good thing that he has the story already known about him, about his, laziness potentially. Another player that I've really liked seeing is Jeremy Fears on Michigan State. He's averaged over 9 assists this season. Just an unbelievable player from Michigan State. I'm really looking forward to see him. And then one of my favorite players I've been watching is one of UConn player. He is probably he's got the only one of the last in college basketball since everyone moves on so quickly is Alex Karaban on UConn. He's definitely the heart and soul of the UConn team. 2-time champion now with that Dan Hurley. Unbelievable three-point shooter, hit over 40% shooting for threes. So looking forward to see Alex Karaban from UConn playing this tournament. I think he's going to be a very special player. And let's see if he makes the NBA. I don't know if he's an NBA player or talent. He's definitely that cusp player of, can he make it in the NBA or not? I think he is a senior, so, it's going to be tough for him if he does. But I definitely am rooting for him. So really rooting for him. All right. Other things to talk about. So it was announced that they are going to be doing a vote for Seattle and Las Vegas to be expansion teams in the NBA. Very excited about that. I just wanted to get a few things what that would mean. So the NBA's expansion rules draft are as follows. Expansion teams get to steal unprotected players from teams. Teams can only protect up to 8 players. Teams cannot protect players on expiring contracts or restricted free agents, and only 1 player per team can be taken. Contracts transfer as they are, and expansion teams get good NBA drafts chances at that number 1 overall pick. So if they don't get number 1 overall pick, they'll definitely get, top 5 most likely. So obviously we would have to protect 8 players. A big thing that going into that season will be signing unrestricted free agents and making sure players are not on expiring contracts. So anyone you want on that is on expiring contract, make sure to lock them up. You cannot keep players that are not on expiring contracts. So I'm very interested in seeing how this will play out. Obviously for our Spurs, who they're willing to protect. Obviously are a very deep lineup, and this matters for us more than most teams because of how deep we are. Obviously, Wemby, Castle, Vassell, Champagnie, Fox, that's 5. Keldon Johnson, then you start making decisions. Dylan Harper, that's 7, and then guess maybe Cornet, but obviously it's good. On the chopping block would most likely be Cornet, and then Olynyk, definitely. Cornet, definitely. Olynyk would definitely be the number 1 and 2 of could be cut from the team. Just this thought starter. I definitely will make who I think will save. I also have to look at contracts going into that season. Obviously, I know Champagnie's contract is over after next year. So that'll be a decision maker for the Spurs, especially with the expansion league coming up. But these expansion leagues are supposed to be in Seattle and Las Vegas. I hope they really just give back the history of Seattle to the Supersonics. Obviously, it's so weird now with the NBA of like maybe it was transferred over to the Thunder. Technically, that's the franchise of the Supersonics. But if they just transfer the identity back to the Supersonics to whatever new team this is, it would just seem so much more natural if the Seattle Supersonics were back in the league. I think that it would be the most natural thing. Correct or wrong of getting rid of Seattle's team and then bringing them back all this time later. One of the coolest facts in the NBA is, that Russell Westbrook and, Kevin Durant were both drafted by the Supersonics. I think that's awesome. I always forget about that, but I think that's one of the coolest NBA facts there is. I don't think, yeah, so I think that's so cool. And yeah, and then Las Vegas, I think that this is the most shoe-in, and here's my prediction. After I saw this news yesterday, my first thought went to LeBron James. LeBron James obviously wants to be a pioneer of the NBA. And what if LeBron James became a minority owner, first player ever that was also playing in the NBA, and owning a team, if that's allowed? I think that's what LeBron might do with the Las Vegas team. I think LeBron might go to the Vegas team and just serve out his team there and be a player coach possibly. I think that could be a future. I'm not lying. I really do think that that's not so far off from reality with LeBron James of how he thinks. Yeah, I'm looking forward to how this plays out. Yeah, so let's see. Who do you think is going to be expansion team? You think that it's going to go to the Sonics? You think it's going to go to Las Vegas? And do you think LeBron is going to get in on it? I think LeBron gets in on it. Other things from this expansion team draft. Obviously, a lot of hometown players will want to go play for these teams. So we'll see if any players will literally volunteer and say, we want to go play for these teams. I'd be very interested in free agents saying, hey, maybe we want to even sign with these teams in the first couple of seasons and establish the culture. I always thought that was really cool when players do that, especially with new franchises. So let's see. Do you think that we'll, be seeing some influx of talent going there? We will see. We will see. All right. Well, last thing on my agenda today, I did watch Raw last night, WWE Raw last night, and it was a good episode. I do loosely follow WWE, and we're on the road to WrestleMania now, so I thought about talking about it. So last night we got CM Punk going against Roman Reigns. I think that's an awesome matchup for WrestleMania. The other matchup for WrestleMania that I think is really big is obviously what's called Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. Randy Orton turned heel. We're back at 09 Randy Orton villain run. So let's see that arc. I'm really excited to see that arc with him. That's going to be awesome. I'm really excited. Other things going on in WWE is I think my favorite new wrestler is Penta. Penta is just an absolute beast. I think it's always funny of how much pyro they do for him in the ring. I think he's such a fun talent, the WWE, and he has got all the energy. He's got the international title. Just is in a battle with Dirty Dom. I like Dirty Dom a lot, and I think that they have to run Dirty Dom versus Finn Balor. Finn Balor, I guess, left his team, Dom's team, on the Judgment Day, so they gotta run Finn Balor versus Dom at WrestleMania. I think that would be the most fun. I mean, last year at WrestleMania, they had Dom win the title. He had that double celebration almost as a baby face, even though he was a villain. I think they should do the same with Finn Balor this year and maybe another title match, but, give him his flowers to see how far he's made it in WWE. Let Finn Balor, win his match at WrestleMania, beat Dom, and squash that beef going forward. I think that would be a really cool storyline for Dom and Finn Balor. Really excited for WrestleMania, about a month out from tomorrow, actually, the 18th. 18th and 19th of April. So really looking forward to WrestleMania this year. Well, that's it from me over on Spurs Latest. Our boy Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs just dominated the league. 50 wins on the season. Let's go. Well, that's it from here at Spurs Latest. I'll catch you in the next one.